I'm on. Oh, yeah.
700 miles to come do it, son.
Stud in the bucket.
655.9.
You're listening to the PointClickFish podcast. We bring you the best in fishing entertainment with interviews, how-tos, stories, food, fishing reports from the captains, teams, and celebrities that are all in the industry. And now, here's your host, Captain Jay Feimster and the PointClickFish team.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Captain Jay, along with Price. Everyone's been affected during this difficult time. As COVID-19 has taken over, we look to connect with others that share a common bond of fishing. A lot of us find comfort in being on the water or in the woods, and we look to find who shares that common bond with us. Today, we welcome singer and songwriter Uncle Kracker to the show. Kracker, man, take two. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I always mess everything up normally, so I'll take full credit for this. I wouldn't feel right if I wasn't taking credit for this one.
Well, as we said last time, we've already had a great time talking to you well before we started the show. And Price, I don't know, it feels like we know Kracker already. Like it's been awesome.
We're going fishing. We're going to eat barbecue and drink beer. You left out strip club. You left out all kinds of shit.
Price sold us short right from the get-go,
you
guys.
left out spawning, sperming, all kinds of shit. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Oh, man. Well, obviously, we had talked a little bit about the quarantine, right? Obviously, it's this COVID-19 something that's affected us all. Talk to us a little bit about what is Uncle Kracker doing during the quarantine to keep yourself busy, doing something new. Tell us a little bit what you've been up to.
Well, I haven't really done, I haven't honestly done much different than I normally do. Like, I don't usually leave the house anyway. When I'm home, when I'm not touring, I usually don't leave the house unless it's to go out fishing or something like that, because that's my outside, that's my outdoors time. That's my I'm home, don't talk to me time. That's my pretty much all my selfish shit I do on the boat, on the water, and that's that. So our governor up here isn't allowing us to go out in boats that have motors on them, and I'm not. You've seen me. You've seen pictures of me. I'm not in a kayak fishing anywhere. So to not be able to take my boat with the motor on it out fishing is kind of stuck in the house here. But one game I've been playing is with my fiance's dog, who likes to wake up and shit in the house every morning. But here's the thing: this dog, no dog on earth goes outside more times than this dog. So, but now, like, I'm usually up late, so I can let the thing out at 1, 2, 3 in the morning for its last run before somebody else wakes up and lets the dog out. But now I'm like in bed early at 9:30, so if I wake up at 6 a.m., it's already had its way with the house. Like, it's like looking for your Easter basket on Sunday morning, like Easter Sunday. Where did he hide it? So this is one thing I'm doing different to help myself through this pandemic here. I'm sorry.
Well, at least it's never a dull moment. You've always got something to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm either cleaning up shit, starting shit, or yeah. But I don't know. As far as like doing constructive things like that, I'm just joking. I'm not really joking that much about it because he does shit in his house every morning. But I'm not really doing anything much different.
Well,
I wish I was. I would have a whole lot more to talk about. But you know what, though? I'm going through like a lot of cabinets and cupboards, and I'm doing like spring cleaning a little bit earlier than I would have normally, except for I can't buy no fucking paper towels up here.
Everything's out, right?
Everything's out. Yep. So it's hard to do that. And I don't know. I'm not old school where I like take a rag and use it. One rag will clean the entire cabinet, or whatever. So I got to use paper towels and waste everything. But,
well, that's
about all I'm doing up here.
I tell you, one of the things that Price and I were talking about, and we wanted to know a little bit about, what first got you into music. Obviously, you've had and continue to have a very successful music career, but how did you get there?
So when I was younger, probably when I was about like 9 or 10 years old, in Detroit, growing up in Detroit, we used to have this public access cable channel thing that at about midnight on Friday or Saturdays, you'd see it was the channel that ran like Soul Train and things like that. But at about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, I started seeing like these rap videos. So I'm saying like I was probably about 10 years old, and I see this video of the Fat Boys. And I don't know if you remember the Fat Boys or not, but
we do. Absolutely.
When I was 10, here are these 3 fat guys rapping about food and going to jail for eating all kinds of it. And I was like, man, I love this shit. So I started getting into this rap music, when I was 10. And, I say that and it doesn't sound as weird now, but, 10, when I was 10, that was 35 years ago. And back then it was like, people looked at you funny for that. But, I just fell in love with rap music when I was 10 years old, and I started doing rap and writing my own music, and I bought a drum machine and started making up my own beats and my own little songs, and I got my first record deal 5 years after, so when I was 15, I had my first record deal. It didn't pan out so well for me because the label that signed me, they kind of bellied up, I guess, and they owed everybody a ton of money, and one of the people that they owed a bunch of money to was my best friend, Kid Rock. It was my best friend. And even back then, they owed him a ton of money. So he kind of went in and was like, listen, you guys just let Kracker out of every contract he signed with you. I'll forget everything you guys owe me, blah, blah, blah. So they kind of dropped everything. They let me out of my contract. He let him off the hook with paying him. It was kind of a nice little wash. And I kind of just got into it, just from, the Fat Boys. If it wasn't for the Fat Boys, I wouldn't be doing anything that I've done ever.
Man, I tell you, that's a name I hadn't thought about in a while, the Fat Boys. Man, I might have to go listen to some I know, man.
Now, Jay, I've got to admit this. My favorite Fat Boy song was Wipeout. I love the Wipeout.
Oh, man, that was great. I mean, they had a lot of great songs, and they had a lot of great commercial success, too, for the time that they were in there. The whole Chubby Checker thing.
Yeah.
They really did. They had a lot of success. I wonder, I never really followed much after that. You start getting into that, and then all kinds of other groups I started getting into because of that. And that's back when, before the internet, when you read the back of an album and you're like, so-and-so produced this. And then, you'd go to a record store and you'd flip the back of the record over and be like, well, he produced this one too. I better check this out. And back then you could kind of count on a record label just by the logo they had on the back of the album. Like Def Jam was one of those labels if their logo was on the back of the record, you bought it without knowing anything because they were kind of like the filter. So you're like, they're putting out good records. And then all that went to shit. Everybody just started putting out junk at a certain point. Everything went all to hell, I guess. But
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'll babble. I will keep babbling if you let me.
Man, I tell you that. Well, that's awesome. Some Fat Boys, man. I never would have guessed. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it was the Jailhouse Rap. That was the song that kind of it just, it perked my ears up. I was 10 years old and I was up late. I shouldn't have been. I was just, if my parents weren't drunk, passed out somewhere, they would have told me to go to sleep. But I wasn't. I was up watching this public access, it's like the stuff that used to come on after Benny Hill. Like Benny Hill wasn't on late enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was like that time where it was like after Benny Hill and before the big satellite boom where we got satellites for the houses.
Yeah.
It was it was in between that slot. But that's pretty much how I got into this mess, to be honest. And from the rap thing, it kind of put me in a DJing position. I really liked what was going on. I started DJing, and then I kind of learned from there that I was I liked all kinds of music, because you, as a disc jockey, you're not playing things that you yourself love necessarily all the time. You're playing what everybody else loves. So you know, a DJ kind of has to be like you got to be a pleaser. You got to be a people pleaser. If they're not dancing, you're not doing your job. And so you kind of learn other things from there. So, you know, I was playing other records that other people loved, and I was like, man, that's kind of dope. Oh, I like that record, or this was cool. And then I just learned to love other things. And the one thing I learned was I liked a lot of music anyway growing up, because my dad listened to all kinds of things out in the garage. I'm sure he was chopping cars in the garage when I was a kid, but I think, 3 a.m, I could hear Patsy Cline and George Jones blaring out of this garage in, Detroit growing up, coming right through my window. But I grew up, as I grew up, I listened to all kinds of things, and it kind of helped me. And it also, when I got my first big record deal, we had put out the Kid Rock Devil Out of Cause album, and I wrote a lot of that album. So the record label that he was on, they're like, well, we're just going to give Kracker a record deal, because they knew what I wrote on that album. And I had this song that was very bluesy, and at the time, Everlast had this blues song that was a big hit on radio. So I kind of got lucky, because nobody knew what the fuck I was doing. So, because I had like this bluesy like demo, and but I liked everything: rap, blues, rock, country, all of it. So when they did sign me, they kind of fired everybody too. So like the people that signed me were gone. So new people came in, and nobody really knew what the hell I was doing. So I really got lucky. Never had to be pigeonholed into one thing or another, because I would turn in a record and they didn't know me anyway. They didn't know who I was, what I was doing. At any point, it was like a mess.
Man, now, as you started writing your a lot more of your own stuff, do you ever find yourself writing about fishing or wanting to write about fishing at all?
I mean, it's hard to do things like that, like the fishing type stuff like that. I've written tons of like good rap lines, fishing and things like that.
Sure.
But without crossing over into novelty territory,
Yep.
It's hard, man. It's hard. Like one thing when it comes to songwriting, the one thing that I've always found it hard to do is to write an up-tempo, non-dumb song. Like something that's like up-tempo and fun, but not dumb, is the toughest thing to write. And that's why you don't hear very many of them. But without crossing over into novelty territory, I've never done like a fishing song or something like that. I've got buddies that do, and we poke a lot of fun at them. But it's just because it's tough. I mean, it's hard to do. Like, got my rod, and I got my pole, and it's hard to like, you put that in a song, and automatically it's like, that's funny. It's weird. It's hard. And you know what? I've written so many other dumb songs where I don't even know why that's so funny and weird to write about.
Yeah,
but it is. Yeah. It just is. It's like one of the things it is. Like you're gonna throw a perch or a bluegill in a song, and all of a sudden it gets laughs. It gets it's kind of, I don't get it, man, but it is.
You're like, where does that fit?
Exactly. It's like I don't know, as many things you can write about. And you know what? When I hang up today from talking to you guys, I'll go into a room here at my house. I'll shut the door and I'll start writing, because I do. That's what I'm a songwriter, and I'm probably gonna bat this around now. It's probably gonna take me about an hour and a half before I pick up smoking again. And I'm gonna.
Oh, Kracker, I think we got your first song, Barbecue, Fishing, and Strip Club.
That sounds like the Kid Rock's next album.
There you go.
Well,
there you go.
Well, speaking of fishing, how did you get into fishing? Did you grow up fishing? Did you fish later? Start fishing later in life?
I did. My grandpa used to come by. My mom's dad, my grandpa, he was definitely the greatest man I've ever known, used to come grab me from my parents' house when I was 4 or 5 years old, and he would bring me to his boat, and we would fish every Saturday and Sunday morning from spring till fall. It didn't matter. He had an old 25-foot Chris Craft. What are those called? A Sea Witch or a sea something or other. And I just remember this poor guy, man. He spent all spring working on the under of that boat, sanding it by hand, staining it, sealing it, just cleaning it. And then not only that, but once he got it to the boat well to keep it there, there wasn't a day we went out and fished if he wasn't working on that fucking motor. Something always broke on that poor boy. I felt so bad because my poor grandpa, bless his heart, he was just saying he was either untangling my line or fixing the fucking trolling motor. I'll never forget it, and that's just how I got into fishing. Really, was my grandpa. We trolled for walleye. That's all we did. We trolled for walleye. He wouldn't do anything else, man. If I wanted to throw the pole in the water when he shut the boat off, when we got to where we needed to be on the lake before he could get to the trolling motor, if I wanted to throw the line in, he would get furious. He wasn't a guy that got angry, but I could tell he got uptight about it because he didn't want that. He wanted to troll. He sat there. He made his own walleye harnesses. 2, 3 hooks, different colors. Chartreuse was his favorite. I just remember these were my earliest childhood memories, and I'm 45 now, and I take my girls fishing. I have 3 daughters. I have a little son now. He's about 4. He'll be 4 in a couple months, but I hope he enjoys fishing as much as my daughters did. And some of my earliest memories are that with my grandpa, and that's how I started fishing. That's why I love still to this day. I think because I think I equate it all to my grandfather, and just what a good dude he always was. My grandpa was. No, I'm gonna tear up and shit. I'm not really going to tear up, but I'll keep talking. I say, you guys got to cut me off on this, man.
It's awesome to hear those memories, because so many people share that bond, like we talked about, of fishing. There's a love for being on the water. There's a love for fishing. And, one of the things that Price and I've done is with the podcast, we actually love connecting with people like yourself, celebrities that people may not know fish. Because there is such a common bond. We actually had Warren Sapp on the show, and he absolutely loves fishing. Wow! And he fishes quite a bit. Wade Boggs fishes, Mike Schmidt fishes. Bucky Dent from the New York Yankees. I mean, it's really cool because so many people share that bond. Of fishing. Right. So that's it's really cool. It's something that Price and I started. Price and I've actually owned PointClickFish, our website, for 12 years. So we've actually been doing this for a long time now. Wow. And so we do, fishing websites. We go to tournaments. We go to about 75 tournaments a year. So we're on the road quite a bit, going to fishing tournaments. So that's something that we do.
Oh, you guys stay pretty busy then.
We do. We're almost like an artist on the road all the time. We're right. From one city.
I understand it.
One city to the next.
Where I live here off Lake St. Clair, I live at the end of this thing called the Clinton River, pretty much. And if I look like 3 houses down one way and across the river, there's a boat launch. Mm-hmm. So I watch all these tournaments, man. They come down to the end of that road across the other side of the river. Thank God they're not on my side. But they come out and they dump their boats in over there. But I just see tons and tons of tournaments. And I mean, they're already starting. They have. I've seen, I couldn't tell you which ones or what they are, but I'm sure there's tons of them. So I'm sure you guys could stay busy like all year round if you had to.
We do. Now, we obviously talked a lot about your freshwater fishing. Talk to us a little bit about saltwater. Have you had a chance to go quite a bit, and what you like to do in the saltwater realm?
holy mackerel, man! My only so I've only had like a couple brushes with saltwater fishing, and my first one wasn't so great because remember we were in Jamaica somewhere, and it was like me, Kid Rock. We were kind of like on this little hiatus thing, but he was doing this big Rolling Stone interview where they followed him around for like a week, and part of it we were in Jamaica for it. Well, we thought we were sweet, and we were gonna charter a boat and go fishing. Well, this boat never got on plane. We thought, I don't know. Everybody was puking probably 40 minutes into this excursion, and oh my God, there was death threats on this boat to turn the fucking thing around. It got heated, you know. We didn't expect all this, right? So we went back to shore, obviously, and so that was like my first attempt. Well, probably just a few years back now, I finally went fishing in Key West. I've always wanted to catch a hammerhead shark. It was like a dream, like of mine, right? Mm-hmm. I either wanted to have one in my living room, swimming alive, or I wanted one on my wall. Mm-hmm. Well, so I ended up in Key West, and my buddy's buddy, this guy named RT, and he does charters down in Key West. And the guy, he's a gem. He's the guy. I've never seen anybody like, I don't know. He put us on so many fish so ridiculously fast. We ended up catching all these tuna. Well, the sharks kept eating the tuna before we get them to the boat. And then he's like, he knew I wanted to catch a shark, so he'd put me on a shark. And finally, I'm reeling in this bullnose shark. It's about a 300-pound shark. Mm-hmm. But it took me about 45, 50 minutes, you know, to get this sucker to the boat. And if I didn't have all like the things, you know, where you strap yourself to the, you know, you get I didn't strap into a chair or nothing, but you know, you get the thing where you kind of rest the pole right above your dingling, I guess, you know, where I don't know what that area is you call in between your belly button and your junk, you know. But if it wasn't for this thing, you know, to pull it in, you have to. I will never go saltwater fishing again without. I'm going to make sure you have to train like for a triathlon to catch a shark. By the way, I don't know, and then there's just this enormous amount of pride that washes over you when somebody's like, "You want me to take it?" And you're like, "Fuck no, get away from me!" And you can't move. You can't move. Your arms have spent every ounce of energy they have, but you still won't give the pole to anybody. The real thing is, I don't know if that's like a me thing or a guy thing or a pride. It's got to just be a straight pride thing, but. I don't know, man. I get this. I finally get the shark up to the boat, probably within about 6 feet of the boat, and another shark comes by and slices the fucking line after like almost an hour. And I had this thing. We had it all but in the boat. So that was my experience with a shark. It was huge. It was great. But there were so many sharks around at the time that we just stuck the pole in and grabbed another one after that one because he really knew I wanted this thing. And, but we got another one and we finally got like up to the boat to where I could like get out and actually like, I wanted to touch the shark. That sounds gross, don't it? Touch the shark.
I wanted to touch
the shark. I actually wanted to touch the shark. So, but it was very cool to actually try to shark one. And I guess we could have shot it and pulled it back in the boat, but we didn't, obviously. We just let it go. But very cool and very, you learn really fast how like small you are in the grand scheme of things when you're sitting out in the middle of the ocean.
You feel like you need to go to the gym.
Oh my goodness, yes. You gotta yeah. That's why I say you gotta train for I just felt inadequate. Inadequate is a good word. Trying to fight a shark.
So with that said, do you ever find yourself watching any fishing TV or reality fishing TV shows at all?
You know, No, I've never really found one that I liked a lot. And then I started seeing like these ones where they got like girls with bikinis fishing, and I'm like, what is this? This doesn't even make any sense, you know? Like I don't even, and I don't want to offend anybody. Maybe I'm just very traditional, but that just doesn't seem. I say it's not realistic, but my fiance, I literally, I'm divorced. And I recently proposed, but to this girl from Galax, Virginia, not far from Charlotte.
Congratulations!
But,
Congratulations!
Thank you so much. But when I met her, she drove a black Lincoln, and she kept a fishing pole in the back seat. So she would literally pull off the side of the road and throw her pole in the water, like by herself. Like this girl. It was a whole different thing. So now I'm like, well, maybe these girls on these TV shows aren't so bad. Maybe they are legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just thought, at first glance, I was like, that's not even real. What are they doing? I just thought like, oh, stick a bikini on this girl, put a pole in her hand, and we're watching ESPN.
And so
however that works.
And so now you know that some of them really like to fish, and they really fish. That's awesome.
Yeah, yep. Like I said, I'm really I have a lot of traditional things, bouncing around upstairs, but I can adjust. I get it. You know what? To each their own, and some things are harder to swallow than others, as you guys know.
Yeah.
But I'm evolving. I'm not the caveman I once was.
There you go. Hey, so what's it like to be on the boat with Kracker? What happens? Like, I mean, is there, your favorite snack when you go fishing? Do you have like something that you always do when you go?
Oh, bananas.
Bananas, always. Do you always take bananas, huh?
Isn't that the big curse?
It is.
I was joking. I was waiting to see what you guys said. That's
I was like,
bananas.
Man, I was going to say, man, you haven't been thrown off a boat yet?
Yeah. So when you do a charter again, just as they're going out, just start eating your banana and see what happens.
That'd be great. I don't really have too many rituals because I live so close to the. I don't know. So I don't I don't pack the lunch and do the things because I literally walk outside. I hop on the boat and I just tool around the back. It takes me 2 minutes to get where I need to be on, to catch fish here on this
that
lake.
Secret spot.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of them out here on this lake. But I don't have to go far. If I just want to, rock some bass in with my my kids, it's easy. But I guess if I do go trolling, it's a different thing. I don't have any favorites. So I don't have any rituals. You always got to make sure you bring subs from Ventimiglia, and you got to bring a cooler. And I'm not out getting trashed though. I know a lot of guys will drink beer and fish, but I kind of just like to fish. I don't like drinking out there and I don't like coming home all smashed, drunk. Yeah, we went fishing today. It's not my thing.
Yeah, I've always found myself when I go fishing myself. I don't drink. I love to fish. I just literally
same here.
Yep.
Same here. I'm really not even a daytime drinker at all, man. I like to do that shit when no one can see me. Anyway,
I don't want anybody to see this. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, nobody wants to see this thing. Trust me. But I'm not a daytime guy. But I do love. The one thing I do love fishing is when the sun is just popping up. I love to be out where I need to be before the sun is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually my thing. I like to get on the boat when it's still dark, and I get out and then I go. And that way I can be home by 8 in the morning. You know what I mean? And I got the rest of the day. I like to get shit over with.
You're like, I'm done. I've got it done. I've watched my sunrise. I've caught my fish. I'm ready for the day.
Yep. Yeah. And I'll be honest, it's pretty therapeutic. I mean, for anybody that does, I'm sure there's guys that listen to this that do this similar shit. But
they do. There's just something about being on the boat and that sun rising. It's definitely an experience in itself. It's something that if anybody's listening that hasn't done it, they definitely need to do it.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, the amount of money you save from not having to see a therapist. It's just I mean, that sun coming up, on the water like that is just it does wonders. It does wonders.
Kracker said, "Forget the couch, go to the boat." The therapist.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
You don't need a therapist couch. You just need to go to the boat.
That's right. That boat will make you rethink everything you've ever done.
Kracker, I'm feeling another song coming on. I mean, I think we're writing you some. I think we got a couple tracks here today.
Man, I hope so. I could use one.
Holy smokes! I mean, I think we're gonna have a song by the end of this conversation.
Yeah, I hope so.
Sunrise and fishing poles. Oh man! Hey, so you mentioned that you had gone fishing with Kid Rock. Does he like to fish?
Oh yeah. Yep, we've definitely gone fishing in more than a couple different places. If you're somewhere, I don't know. There's obviously some spots that are more prone to fishing than others. When you get up to, Minneapolis, you want to do some fishing. Things like that, or different places. So, we've definitely done our fair share of fishing, man. The ocean wasn't the move for either of us, but lakes and shit are pretty nice. He likes to go and fish for a nice pike, muskie, bass. He's like I don't know what you would call it. He's like one of them cats. I don't know. I wouldn't want to. Well, I guess fishing is a sport, but he's just one of them athletic, competitive people.
Mm-hmm.
So fishing is right up his alley when it comes to wanting to catch the biggest fish and that type of thing. So, but yeah, we've definitely done our fair share of fishing.
Has anybody?
Let me ask you.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was going to say, what is the conversation on a boat with you and Kid Rock? I mean, are you guys thinking of songs, or y'all just kind of it's buddy, or what's the day on the boat with you guys like?
No, it's buddy. It's buddy. It's definitely, my goodness, I don't know. He and I kind of hate the business part so much where it's like that which you do not speak of, okay. Fuck this business. This is all it's straight buddy. It's man, you'd not believe, this or that, or I told her if she's gonna talk like that to get the fuck out, or just dumb shit, guy shit. Shit you don't come home and talk about.
So
right, of course.
so
a buddy of mine got in trouble, right? His wife picked up his phone, and he had been talking to somebody about something that was probably, about a chick or something like that. And she said, "Fuck that, man! I'm out of here." She's gonna divorce him, and she's leaving, right? She picked up his phone and he was talking shit, right? Well, we all talk shit, and so my fiance was like, "Oh my gosh," she picked up the phone and I said, "You better never pick up my fucking phone." I said, "Cause you're gonna see shit on there. I say all kinds of shit I should not be saying, but you can't believe any of that. If you're reading that in text, just because I said I wanted to or was gonna do that doesn't mean I was really gonna do it." I'm trying to explain to my fiance that you just can't pick up my phone and read through a text and think that was, the Holy Bible.
Sure.
You just don't do it. I just told her we'd be together a lot longer if she didn't read my phone. I didn't know where I was going with that. But.
Oh my gosh. Hey. We'll fish a lot more.
Hey, Kracker. Hey, not only or do we know how to eliminate a therapist by going fishing? Kracker has now given us relationship advice. Kracker, this podcast is on it, man.
Yeah, me. I'm divorced. I'm the last person to be handing out advice over here.
Hey, so you mentioned that Kid Rock is very competitive. So if you guys are on the boat, you catch the bigger fish. Is he like itching the whole time to catch that bigger fish? I mean, is he
Oh,
that?
yeah. Oh, yeah. If you catch a big one, the boat doesn't even go in until he gets the bigger one.
Oh, man. That is funny.
Yeah, it's times like that you wish you would have packed a lunch, dinner, all of it. Like, come on, man. And beer at that point.
You're like, hey, we're getting into my nighttime part here. Nobody's going to see. I should have brought some beer.
That's right. You see that thing dipping over there? We got to get the show on the road.
Hey, has any celebrity that you've run in contact with surprised you that fished? I mean, has anybody been like, whoa, I didn't know that person fished?
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, you know what? I guess, I don't know. You know, well, there's a guy, I don't know if you guys remember Dave Rosemont. He used to pitch for the Detroit Tigers a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was on the '84 World Series Tigers, but I would know that because I'm from Detroit, obviously. But anyway, he lives in the area, but you know, I see him out and about a lot, here and there, different bars, places, and but he runs like this perch tournament thing. I would have never thought. Yeah, really weird. I just, you know, because he's always been a nice guy. Just would never strike you as like that guy at the perch tournament. You know what I mean? Doesn't compute.
Hey, Price, I could see Kracker.
Oh, yeah.
I could see Kracker going to a tournament with his jersey on and and his poles. He's ready to roll. What do you think, Kracker? you ready for the next tournament?
I'm in. I'd love it, man. My buddy Peterman, he does those redfish tournaments down in Louisiana.
Yep.
And that's where they gotta like sit on like a tower or something like that on the boat, and they're fishing in like 2 feet of water, maybe.
Yeah, that water in Louisiana is skinny. Whew, I tell you, you better know where you're going, or you're going to be there for a while.
That's what it sounds like to me. I've never done that. I've never done that type of like tournament style like that, but it sounds like it's fun.
Yeah, I think we have an opportunity to introduce. Now, Kracker, have you ever caught a kingfish before?
No. What is that?
Oh my gosh! Well, we're the exact guys you need to talk to about that. We can put you on that one pretty easy, can't we, Jay?
So a king mackerel, it's a large. You know what a wahoo is?
Is that like you know, I've heard the name wahoo.
Yep.
I've never.
So they're long silver fish, almost kind of look like a torpedo, and they have teeth, and so does a king mackerel. But what they do is the king mackerel and the wahoo, obviously they're very fast fish. So what happens is you put out live bait and then you slow troll, and when you troll, these fish hit this bait and they run. I mean, it just takes off running. And I tell you, Kracker, I know we talked about this before the show aired. We need to get you down here to go do some red fishing there for the old drum on the Neuse River, and then we can head out and catch some king mackerel right offshore here off of Atlantic Beach. So we definitely need to do that with you.
I'm so in.
Because
I would love to do that.
Yeah, because we have an amazing fishery here, but in the sound where the fish are, you're literally catching 40 to 60 inch red drum. They're huge. I mean, it's like a freight train. It's like a freight train just hit your line and just kept going. And so I tell you, but yeah, the king mackerel, that when they hit, they run, and you almost have to run them down and reel them in, and they take off again. And it's kind of like a pike. I mean, as far as looks wise, they have real just razor sharp teeth.
Wow. I'm in. I've never even heard of a kingfish.
Yeah, I tell you, you got to watch out for those mouth. But we have a lot of king mackerel tournaments that take place, basically from North Carolina down to about Texas. So they're North Carolina to Texas are pretty much the migration pattern here for them. So yeah, we'll definitely have to do that. But we'll have to make sure that in case the fish are biting, that we have the appropriate snacks as well. We get out there before the sun rises so we can have our therapy session, and we'll bring We'll bring beer just in case the fish don't quit biting, right? So after things get back to normal, what's next, Kracker? Well, I mean, what's next for you? Whenever that may be, right?
Well, I never thought I'd say this, but I've never been more anxious to get back out on the road, to be honest. So I'll probably just head back out on tour just to feel like I'm alive, I guess. After all this mess, this is not to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that. I just think I don't know. Doesn't it just feel like bizarre, like somebody's lying to you? Doesn't it feel like I'm in this house and I don't know. I don't go outside a lot here, and you open the door like something's going to come swooping down at you or something. You get back in the house, and I don't know. It's just weird. This feels like I'm not getting the whole fucking story. That's what it feels like. Well,
I mean, who would ever thought that we would, be on quarantine? I mean, as a nation, right? I mean, it's who would have thought that? I mean, none of us would have thought, nobody's going to, really be traveling. Events are going to be closed. I mean, it's been bizarre for sure. That's something that's just been very different for all of us to, obviously if something happened, it was a small localized area, but this is, national, international, I mean, it's bizarre.
Right. Yeah, it is bizarre. I don't know. It can't get over fast enough, man, for me, but it just doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen.
Well, we hope it's all, over soon, whatever that may be, and then we can all get back, like you said, on the road and us hit the road again, for the tournaments. But we definitely look forward to connecting with you as well and getting out on the water and letting you.
Well, I'm definitely gonna take you up on that. I would love to come down and try some of that. That would be
absolutely
that'd be incredible.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, we definitely appreciate you taking the time to talk with us and share that common bond of fishing. And man, I feel like I've got a new friend over there. Price, what do you think, man? Cracker's.
Oh man, Cracker, we're friends now, man. It's we're buddies now.
Oh, we're gonna have a blast. I promise. I swear, when this is over with, I'm taking you guys up on this.
All right,
awesome.
We'll do it.
I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Well, it's been a blast, and we look forward to connecting when things get back to normal as well, and checking with you, see how things are. And I tell you, man, I've had a blast, and thank you again.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Cracker.
Bryce, I tell you, what an amazing show with Uncle Kracker. It feels like we've known him forever by the time we got done with the show. He's got a lot of good memories related to fishing, and that's something that we want to kind of connect everybody to is that common bond of fishing and the outdoors, especially during this difficult time as everybody stays in and they're looking for those outlets. That's something that's so important.
What's interesting is, sometimes when we do these interviews with people, you're always kind of wondering, like, how's it going to go? Obviously different people have different personalities and personas and stuff. And immediately when Kracker came on the phone, it is like we've been friends forever. And it was kind of this immediate bond. And we started talking fishing, and we probably talked even before we recorded the show. Jerry, what do you think? About 15, 20 minutes with Kracker just talking?
Well, we got to the point where we're like, oh, we should probably start the show, because we were literally caught up in talking, and he was sharing, stories, and we were too. And it got to the point to where we were like, oh, wow, we should probably start this podcast, shouldn't we?
Hit the record button.
Yeah, and that's basically what happened. We had to hit the record button because we literally jumped right into it like we've known him forever. But, Price, there's one thing, too, was I wanted to make sure that we just let everybody know. Uncle Kracker shared with us that the Fat Boys Jailhouse Rap was one of his favorites. That was an inspiration for Uncle Kracker at a young age. So I just wanted to make sure we had a little Fat Boys in there for him. All right.
Hey, listen, I'm not afraid to admit that, man, I was a huge Fat Boys fan myself, man. Those guys are awesome. The beatbox guy was my favorite, man. Oh, my gosh. that one that could beatbox, man. Oh, I just love listening to him beatbox. And so, I mean, you know, I guess we're showing our age here a little. I used to have the tape of the Fat Boys. And, man, that was one of the tapes that I used to have in my old tape player, man. I'd hit that rewind button several times here in that beatbox solo a bunch. So, yeah, man, I was a fan myself of the Fat Boys.
What was your favorite?
You in a bathing suit. I'd like to see you in New York.
I remember that song, Wipeout? I think they did with the Beach Boys. Yes. Yes.
You mean that one? You mean that one?
I mean that one. That was that's a Price Seamster classic right there. And so I was a definite fan of the Wipeout from the Fat Boys, and so that was amazing. So that brings back some good memories right there.
I tell you, once again, we want to thank Kracker for taking the time to share his love of the outdoors and fishing with us, and we look forward to connecting with him. And obviously, we're going to get him down. We're going to take him fishing here in North Carolina, introduce him to some of the fisheries that we have here off of our coast, which is amazing. A little king mackerel fishing, a little sound side, trophy red drum fishing. Man, I tell you, it's awesome.
I'm ready to go, man. I just like to be on the boat with Kracker, and just the stories that he would tell. And he's one of those guys I think he would have fun from start to finish. I mean, he's just that type of guy.